Ladies and, ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Lenny Robbins YouTube channel. Know your politics. Let's come together to create a better understanding for each other. Now, I've been talking about this for quite a number of time. In many of my videos, I always repeat it. As I've always said, repetition is one of the greatest learning tools for all of us. It takes us around the learning curve. For some of us, the curve is long, it's really deep and all of these things, but time consuming and all of that. But eventually, we all got to get around that learning curve. And repetition is one of the cornerstone of that learning curve. I've been saying for a long time that our political squabble and our political situation in Jamaica is getting worse. And everybody across the world is now, it's popping up all over on social media across the world where people are now talking about the disgraceful situation of Jamaican politics and the way people are addressing each politician in Jamaica, whether you're in parliament, outside of parliament, or whatever it is. Now, there's an issue that occurred recently in parliament. And I'd like you guys, Mark Golan did some address on it, and I'd like you guys to take a look and take a listen. And let us consider, if what I'm saying about our politics is getting dirty, it's going to the gutter, we're taking it to the gutter, and we're only destroying ourselves, not as PMP supporters, not as JLP supporters, but as black people, as a nation, as a race. What is happening back home is forcing people overseas to bear the brunt of the disrespect that is going on in Jamaica politically. I've asked the Prime Minister and the leader of opposition to come together and work out some ethical standard of conduct for this. I hear nothing about it. I don't know if they have an intention to do it, because I've heard nothing about it. But I know if it's not done and dealt with, it's going to be serious matter for the country. And not just internal, but in the diaspora. We here have been looked at also. We here in the diaspora are asked to help to bear the brunt of this disrespectful behavior that is happening in Jamaica and our politics. Now, as I said, there's a recent incident in the parliament where the Prime Minister, from report, asked someone on the opposing side, told him twice to shut up. I'm going to play a video for you and listen to Mark Golan and just comment whether Mark Golan is right or wrong, and the Prime Minister is right or wrong to tell a man to shut up. Under any circumstances, is he right or wrong to tell a person to shut up in Parliament? Ladies and gentlemen, listen.
The last issue I wanted to address today relates to the squabble that took place during the proceedings of Parliament yesterday, and which have been covered by at least one media house, and I believe in social media, alleging that, or saying that the Prime Minister was calling a member on our side a bully, and so on. Now, for those of us who were in Parliament and who witnessed this, it's quite clear that the squabble began when the Prime Minister told that member to shut up. When the member responded and said, "What did you say?" He repeated it and told him to shut up. This was in the context of the member speaking to the question of Hansard, being asked to verify what had been said previously in the same proceedings, which were the subject of a dispute. It is those two unparliamentary statements by the Prime Minister which led to that squabble, and ultimately resulted in him calling the other member a bully, etc. And that is how, unfortunately, the reporting of it has not been balanced or accurate. And I really think that it was unseemly for the Prime Minister of the country to descend into a scuffle of that nature, which he really initiated by calling the member up, telling the member twice to shut up, and the Prime Minister ought to apologize to the Parliament for having effectively kicked off the series of engagements between the two of them, which led to a protracted and unseemly squabble in Parliament yesterday, ultimately resulting in the Speaker having to suspend the sitting for a period of time to allow tempers to cool. And I'm saying that this morning because I don't think it's fair or balanced the way in which it's been covered, and the Prime Minister ought to do the right thing and apologize for his role in it. This issue I wanted to...
Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Is it? What do you think about this? Because is the Prime Minister right to do what he did? Is Mark Golden right in his assessment of the situation? We don't have all the facts, but we can try our best to make some understanding of what is happening in Parliament. Sorry about that interruption. As I've said before, it is imperative that we do not, under no circumstances should we allow our politics to continue the way it is continuing. I've been trying to make this issue as indelibly in the mind of Jamaicans, of our own people back home, as political supporters, as politicians on both sides of the fence. But for years it has been falling on deaf ears. And now Mark Golden is calling out the squabble that existed between the Prime Minister and one member of his party. And the Prime Minister went as far as to tell him twice to shut up. Now, the context of the matter, if you say that to someone and this is a big man you're talking to, he's not even under your command, and you're telling him to shut up, that's disrespectful in of itself. It is disrespectful. But it's also a sign that shows that the Prime Minister is really, really fed up of certain things. He's getting disgusted at certain things. And it's the very same thing I'm talking about in Jamaica. That the disrespectful man, Isaac Buchanan made reference to it. And leaders from all over the world, a lot of you back home may not realize, but leaders from all over the world are talking about these things. Are talking about the political situation, the political disrespect, the derogatory comments, the derogatory descriptive, the disrespectful way in which we address our politics and our politicians, coming from both sides of the house. And already knowing that the people of Jamaica are living in a very divisive political world. If there's no one in the room big enough to call attention to this thing, as I've been trying to do to get the Prime Minister and the leader of opposition together to work out an ethical standard of response or conduct from the very supporters of both political parties, because if it does not happen, listen to what Cliff Hughes said. I'm begging you, don't take this back to the 70s. Because a lot of you people did not and have not experienced the 70s in Jamaica. Ladies and gentlemen, we really need to wake up to what is happening to our politics in Jamaica. It is okay to speak out against a politician or a political party or a governance. It's okay to do it. But how do we do it? By telling the Prime Minister what should happen to him, what he's to go and do with his mother? By telling the Prime Minister that he's a damn thief and he's a liar, and we don't have evidence to support that, without the evidence to support it? by doing the same thing to Mark Golden or the PMP, and we don't have evidence to support what we are saying? Do we understand what we are doing to ourselves as black people? Not as PMP supporters or JLP supporters, as people, as black people. The world is looking at us. The world is commenting about us. The world is talking about us. Why do you think we have people like me and Motley, people like Louis Farrakhan and other world leaders talking about the conditions in Jamaica? Maybe you people are deaf, dumb, and blind. You're not listening. Jamaica, you need to wake up. Jamaicans, not home and abroad. All of us need to wake up to this. We need to wake up to create a better understanding for each other by watching what our politicians do and what they say, so we can govern our response. You don't have to tell a politician what to do to go do with his mother. And how he's the devil incarnate. How he's the devil advocate. And he's to dead. Prime Minister need for dead. He knows nothing than to steal. He's a kleptomaniac, all these things. And where's your evidence? Nothing. And these things, these are the issues people delight themselves in. Because it gives you a self-aggrandizement benefit for the moment. You feel propelled in the limelight when you say these things about your leaders, whether in government or in opposition. People feel themselves now in the spotlight, lifted up in the spotlight. They feel good about it. Not knowing the irreparable damage they are causing to the nation inside of Jamaica and outside of Jamaica. And worst of all, not recognizing the damage and the destruction you're causing to your own nation as black people. As far as I'm concerned, I'm a black man, and that is more important to me. My race and the survival of my people, of the black people, of our race and our current race, children coming down the line. Those things are more important to me than the People's National Party or the Jamaica National Party, Jamaica Labour Party. Those things are that my race and the survival of my race and the quality of life my race is going to live, the opportunity my race is going to get to show them real potential is far more important to me than saying Mark Golding is a thief or saying Andrew Holness is a thief, or even cursing out JLP, cursing out PMP. I don't see where that is going to get me, my children, or us as a race. I don't see where it's leading us except to the gutter. Down to the gutter. Ladies and gentlemen, if you get this far in this video, I'm going to ask you to like, share, leave a comment, and subscribe to this video. We appreciate those who are already subscribing, and we want to grow this channel, so we are asking those who have not yet subscribed, subscribe to this channel. Leave a comment, tell us if we are making sense or we're not making sense, because it's imperative. It's imperative that not only PMP survive or JLP survive, but Jamaica survive as a nation, as one people, black people. We need to survive. We need a good quality of life. And we have to move that needle for ourselves. Not the Prime Minister, not the leader of opposition, or if he should become Prime Minister. I've said it before. The leaders you are. There's a video out there, publishing shortly, about leadership style in government organization. I don't think the leadership you are seeing in the opposition is the leadership you're going to see when they're in governance, when they become the government. Because there's so many other influencing factors to determine what kind of leadership or who the leader you become, or the leader you are in government. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Lennie Robbins YouTube channel. Oh, let's come together. Know your politics. Let's come together to create a better understanding for each other by watching what our politicians do and say. As I've always said it, it's our existence that is threatened. It is our existence that is in question. We, the people, not the politicians. All of these politicians, you tell me when last you ever heard an existing politician or a retired politician cry out that he's hungry. He doesn't know which built up here. Ladies and gentlemen, we are the building blocks of Jamaica. Jamaica, blessed love to you once again. Over and out.